The Australian Government Summer School for Teachers of Mathematics was conducted at the University of New England in January 2008. 200 school teachers from across Australia came to hear high-profile presenters discuss, provide workshops and present seminars on issues that were relevant to contemporary mathematics teaching. Alistair Lupton, head of the mathematics department at the Prince Alfred College in South Australia, provided a presentation on handheld technology, a new way to rest, work and play. Alistair, I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what the main features of your presentation were.
Well, as the title suggests, it was about handheld technology, and it was, a couple of the key phrases in there were about play and also work. Play in a way as a metaphor for an engagement of students through interaction, through some sort of gaming or simulation that generates engagement and interest, which can then be channeled into the learning that is planned to follow that play. And the work aspect is about students working as mathematicians, using their skills at whatever level they might be, to solve problems, answer questions, explore their world in a mathematical sense.
Right. So it's quite obvious, I think, that the handheld technologies, the gaming is something that's very relevant to contemporary teaching. And have you found, in terms of your presentations, the issues you're addressing deal with both the students' learning and how the teachers use that in their teaching?
Very much so. As you say, the handheld technology is widely prevalent both in wider society, and the number of handheld gadgets that students manipulate nowadays is everywhere. But also, it is probably the most commonly used technology across the country. Most states have a mandated use of technology in their syllabus, and that can come at a variety of levels. So then their kids are forced to use them in examinations, so teachers are teaching with them and assessing with them. But also, because you've got the lower cost compared to a computer, and you have a bag that you can carry, or kids might borrow their own or purchase their own for less than $200. It's become, I think, the widest available technology. And in my teaching situation, it's the one that I can count on any day. Right. I'll have a classroom, and 95% of those kids will have a calculator which we can use to do mathematics together. So that's why it's one that I do use as a first port of call.
Yeah. So in terms of our participants at the summer school, what were the sorts of key ideas or issues that you wanted to present to these people?
Well, for some, they were interested in the technology per se, so they were learning new things, or they were furthering existing skills. So there was a practical element to the workshop. But I couched the workshop in the context of some learning materials that I thought represented good practice, and coincidentally, as it were, had some technology in them.
Yes.
So we did an activity about the reaction times using an online simulation of a baseball. You've got to hit that baseball, and then we gathered some data from that, and then we used technology to manipulate it. As an example of an activity I might use with a Year 9 class, I used another context about the body mass index as an approximation for your percentage body fat, and as a measure of obesity or not. As a very topical area where there's a lot of interesting mathematics that sits behind those indexes. So that was, again, we ended up manipulating an algebraic model, but we did that coming out of an activity that I would use with this 11 class. So each time we learned about technology in the context that students learn about technology, in the maths that they do and the learning that they do.
Right. So there's plenty of practical examples for teachers to take back into the classroom.
Very much so. I guess that's one area where this sort of workshop tends to, people tend to leave pretty happy, because I spend a portion of my working life nowadays writing materials and sharing them for free on the web, and I'm very lucky to be able to do that. And so we were able to leave people with a number of materials which were either ready to go into the classroom or were were stimulating and full of activities that they could select from to use in the classroom. So they were things that people could take away and really use, and everybody likes that. And we also were able to give them a CD with a significant body of work. So they're left with some materials that I think will really help them if they want to further their use of technology in the classroom.
Yes, I think the teachers participating in the summer school are certainly being presented with a lot of resource material to take away, and of course there's going to be a website developed which will enable them to access more resources. I just wonder whether there are any other areas, either on the web or books or other material, that you might want to point them to help them in just dealing with this issue and reading more about it, and maybe finding new materials to add to what they're doing.
Well, the website where the current materials reside is the Casio website. They've supported some of the development of that material, and they host that as a teacher's cache of resources. So that website is www.casioed, so CASIOED, .net.au, and that's set up as it has other bits to it. You can book some PD there and do other things, but you can also go to what's called the teacher's cache, and you can click on things and download PDFs. And that's free for all to use. So if they didn't make the workshop today, or they want another copy, they can most welcome to go there and use anything that they find in any way they see fit.
Yeah. I'm just interested a little bit with Prince Alfred College, because we've had Anthony Harriday in here as well. Is there a special drive or mission in the school to actually use gaming and handheld technologies more than other schools? Have you got a real passion for that?
I'd like to think that our passion was to teach mathematics as best we can, but over the last decade it's become more and more common for us to, as part of our mission to teach maths well, is to use technology. And so there's some common threads that are coming up there, and the gaming idea, the simulation idea, is very frequently used in the materials that we work. And we are lucky to have people who spend a portion of their time preparing and developing materials and researching and sharing. So yeah, we're very fortunate in that we take maths very seriously. A lot of people do, but we also have the resources to put our thoughts and dreams into some sort of practice. So yes, we have there's the Noel Baker Centre for School Maths there, which supports a lot of this work, which is wonderful. Yeah. And I'm lucky enough to work alongside Anthony for some of my day when I'm not teaching or doing the running of the faculty. So it's lovely to work on that side of things as well. And it's great to be able to develop things to their fullest potential that then can be shared with others.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that there's lots of teachers here who are going to appreciate the materials that you have developed and look to use them. So thank you very much for your input.
Pleasure.